Hi, I'm the fucking podcast host.
I'm a fucking whore.
Jake.
I'm Emilie.
And I'm Zane. So today, the season is going to have a theme for each season we do. This season is disability, and the first episode will be about our film we did for the Easter Seals Disability Film Challenge. I was a co-producer. I was credited as a co-producer, which was shocking. I was also an actor and a PA. I also did do some other things, like scouting for places, talking to people, and I also got to use a boom mic, which was interesting.
Marketing.
Oh yeah, marketing that too. Yeah, I also made a song for it, but
It's a different story.
yeah.
I'm Jake. I'm the producer. I was also a screenwriter, head producer, and then screenwriter.
Hi, I'm Emilie. I was a PA, and I was briefly in the background of the boat scene, but it's like half my head.
Well, I was completely cut out. So honestly, you kind of won that.
You, the producer, was completely cut out. Oh my God.
Yeah. You know,
We had great conversations.
yeah. Oh, you wanna talk about those conversations?
Oh, is that where we're heading right now?
No, we don't have to.
Oh, okay.
That's a lot. You had a lot of conversations. So my first question for you, Jake. Where
Mhm.
did you find, like, how did you find these actors? Where did the island of misfit toys become drawn to the film?
And now we're gonna talk about a Christmas movie, but anyways.
Just hear those sleigh bells jingling, jingling too.
So for the actors, well, first I talked with Lindsay. Lindsay is the director, and I interviewed her because of my initiative, Disability in Hollywood, which interviews prominent folks in the entertainment industry or just any industry, and basically just people with disabilities. And essentially, we talk about the barriers and discrimination people face, put that on social media. Anywho, I interviewed Lindsay. Lindsay lives here. And we're like, oh, we should do this eventually because Nick Novicki, head of the Easter Seals Disability Film Challenge, has been trying to convince me to participate in his thing for like the past 2 years. Every time I see him, I'm like, dude, okay, I got it. I'll do it. So I'm doing it. And so from there, the actors like Kaylee, Andy, those were also people who I interviewed as well. And then I'm not sure and then there was referrals as well. So like Rachel was and Shan were through Kaylee. And then some people became actors. Like I met Zane and Emilie through school, and then they became actors. Well, part of Emily's hair was, but yeah.
Yeah, just the hair. And then I brought a lot of people on board. Most of the people that quit though were from me, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they didn't sign the paperwork. Super reliable, yeah. I brought the reliable people in, so did Lindsay, but altogether we had about 40 people across the nation working on this.
I love that. I know there was a lot of weird requirements that we also didn't have access to. Do you want to talk about those requirements?
Oh, for the Easter Seals Disability Film Challenge?
No, for the Christmas movie.
Okay, well, for the Christmas movie, I think it has to be Christmas related. But for the Easter Seals Disability Film Challenge, in some context, essentially it's a film challenge created by Nick Novicki, and he has wanted to create positive representation of people with disabilities, because if you look at the Ruderman Foundation, it's like 10% of the films you see have like character of a disability, or even maybe less than that, and only like 2% of those actors actually have a disability. So there's a lot of inequity there. And so it's like, you know what, I'm going to change it. And he's gotten some really cool people from there. So like Nicole Lynn Evans, who's in Superstore, and Jeffrey Dahmer. And then can't forget or forget the others. Sorry. Anyways, what was your question again?
So what were the requirements?
Oh,
Yeah.
so basically we couldn't pay anybody. We can't make money off of this. Everyone had to sign a document. and we didn't really know what any theme was, except the theme was romance. And we couldn't plan anything. But I did have to get a permit and insurance because I want to do something about like Sacramento because we're all in Sacramento. Why not?
Mhm.
And all the actors like lived in Sacramento too. So it's like, why not do it? It's pretty. Let's do a whole Lady Bird situation.
Yeah. Some came down from LA too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then some from the Philippines. We had a diverse cast. And then I meant the requirements as in like blankets and stuff too, like the weird stuff we had to do.
Oh, yeah. So at the very last minute, they're like, hey, so you have to say the number 10, you have to add a blanket, a bouquet of flowers, one of them. And then for locations, it has to be like in a parking lot, which I'm like, what? That's sketchy. You're gonna have people who might not be able to like defend themselves in a parking lot. That's smart. So then parking lot, and then there was a storefront or like a restaurant, and then there was some other requirements too, but basically to like pick and choose what you wanted. The whole film didn't have to focus on that, but it had to be
Yeah.
included in.
Yeah,
And it was romance.
safety concern was something we'll talk about in our next set of questions. As a sociologist, I am interested in the social implications of how communities organize, come together. The storyline, what? Yeah,
We
like
talk about like, yeah, the safety concern of like actors in parking lots at night. I'm like, that's valid.
we'll get to that.
Honestly,
We'll get to that. I have stories. We chose a certain type of storyline, and I know the story, but the people watching probably don't. Why was the storyline the way it was?
Oh, do you want me to explain what the story was about real quick?
I
then?
mean, we could all explain like
Sure. Emily, you
why
haven't
we-
talked in a bit.
Yeah.
What's the film about?
Love and being gay.
Okay.
And
The words.
Not even
I
disabled.
need like 2 sentences, not just 2 words. Yeah.
love gay. Finding love after a breakup. Should I like explain the whole
Yeah.
plot?
Go for it. Just go for it.
So Kaylee gets out of a long relationship because Shan transfers to LA for an acting gig, and then we do a little fast forward, and it's Kaylee going around Sacramento and dating, and so she meets
Rachel.
Rachel.
Yeah.
I was not there that long for filming.
That's true. You were not there. That's yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So then
Oh, Andy's there. You forgot about Andy.
Oh yeah, Andy is also there.
Best
But
friend.
Andy's like doing his own. He's like
He's a
living
spin-off.
world,
He's living his best life.
like living his best life, as Kaylee is like living her other life. They're both living lives, doing things in Sacramento. But so so then Kaylee meets up with Rebecca. They have a little misunderstanding on the boat, where instead of getting onion rings, Rachel thinks it's them eloping. Meanwhile, you have Andy who hits on Zane, and there's Zane's shining moment where he's like, I'm out, I'm done, this is it.
Also, your hair had a shiny moment there too.
There, it was in the background. Whole misunderstanding between Kaylee and Rachel were going on. And then after that, I wasn't really there for filming. But something else happened behind the scenes, but I think we'll get to that part later. Yeah. So then, they go to the ring store, Kaylee and Rachel, and Kaylee's like, what's going on? I thought we were getting rings, like onion rings. And Kaylee's like, wait, no. And Rachel's like, I thought we were getting married. And Kaylee's, I'm out. And Shannon appears. They got onion rings, and it's a happy ending.
Okay, so when I asked the question, I meant more of like from a social, like sociology standpoint. I meant like, why did we decide to choose disability in a positive
Well,
way?
we had to give context what the film was about.
Yes.
I can talk about that. That's fine. Basically, I grew up with like little to no representation of being Jewish, LGBT plus, and have a disability. And I wanted to do something where at least there would be 2 of those out of the 3. And I didn't want it to be solely about the disability or solely about LGBT, because that's been done we need something new. Want to have like positive representation because our lives aren't solely just about our identity. I mean, they are because you live that way, but it's not like we're complaining about it constantly because it's just like, you know, I don't like bringing it up unless someone's like, oh, you look this. I'm like, great, didn't know that. Thanks for stopping me at the airport. So yeah, stuff like that. But that I would say is what we try to do. Yeah. I think
yeah, this question, I want to hear from Emilie because we've actually already talked about this before. I don't know if Emilie has watched any of the other films though to answer this question, but the question is, was the film different than the others or same, and why?
I'll keep this brief because I mean I did skim over the other film, but I also talked about it to Jake a little bit, and I feel like our film has like the most accurate representation. I'm not saying like it represents everything, but like we hired actors who are like not no tea, no shade, no pink lemonade, but like actors who are like actually queer. And you know, it's not what is this? And like it's like coming from them also. I don't know like how to put it in other words, but it's like representation without like amping it up or anything like that, or feeling as if we need to like play in a role because it's already like there within the actor's identity.
It felt more natural because disability wasn't really something we talked about. We kind of just, it was there in the world. And then also from the point of like where we were coming from when making it, we wanted it to be more about romance, and because most of the cast was already LGBTQ anyways, and I think the only thing that may have been fabricated was the polyamory relationship we added into the film. But then again, I don't know people's sexuality. That wasn't really something I questioned on set. It was different in the sense that most of the people, like, it was very depressing watching their films. There was one where this girl was going blind, and like it started to ruin her like relationship because she was hiding it, and then she like finally told her, and they like cried on the kitchen floor, and it was kind of just like, yeah, but that is how ours is very different. Ours wasn't necessarily about this person's in a wheelchair and it's hard to find love. It was just, it was hard to find love. You can speak, Jake. Yeah.
I also think there was, I'm not going to say which specific film, but there was a film where they were, I don't think they're not openly LGBT plus, and all of our actors are and also have a disability, and that's fine. But my thing is, if you're playing someone who's LGBT plus and you don't openly identify as LGBT plus, what does that say to young people? Or even like people like even me, like what does that say? Like is our community fake, or is it a lie? And it's not. There actually are people. And so I intentionally reach out to LGBT plus and folks who also have a disability to be actors. And there's other intersectionality as well in there. And everyone I think most people have a disability well, but I didn't look at that. I just looked at if we're gonna do a film that's LGBT plus, we need to have LGBT plus actors and also have disability, because it's the whole point. And I would also say our cast and crew, I mean, this was completely unintentional, but we have probably the most diverse casting I've ever seen in my life. It's like the HR's wet dream. I'm just going to share my screen real quick.
Yes.
I mean, like if we were, let's say, checking off all the boxes, which is a horrible thing to do, we pretty much checked.
That's not even the full cast.
It's not even, it gets more diverse than that.
Yeah. There's people behind the scenes that were cut out last minute. I do want to accentuate, I want to speak to the viewers. There actually was a process we held to make sure that a disability was at the forefront. In order to be a main actor, you had to be disabled, which is why a lot of the actors who are more able-bodied were either PAs or background actors. I was kind of the background actor, but I just got like, because of my personality, I became the grumpy waiter. How would you describe my waitering?
You're a waiter who's sick and tired of customers, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but like
pick up for like a lot of people who work in the food industry and retail as well.
I actually
also for the LGBT plus community.
That's
too,
true.
You know?
I do work in servery actually on campus, so that job isn't really too far from what I actually do. And I
Yeah.
am LGBTQ plus. But there was like we specifically wanted the main actors to be disabled, and then the PAs, we didn't really care if they were disabled or not, or if they were LGBTQ. We wanted that because we did want to focus on LGBTQ films, but there was also some heterosexual sexuality representation in our film. Yeah, that's how I'm wording it. Really weird wording.
Wait, there was heterosexuality in the film.
No. Like there was cast members that were heterosexual.
Oh, I'm like, I'm pretty sure there wasn't, but
It's like when, where,
that's the whole
what,
point.
how.
Yeah, and also then to make that happen behind the scenes, as the head producer, I had to make sure that every single venue was accessible to get to and easily to get to, and
That's
did have accessible
true.
parking. And there was one place, I'm not going to list the name.
Oh, I was gonna list names. I was about to start speaking.
Let's not list names out of
Okay.
respect, and also because I might want to work with them, or someone here might want to work there, or
Oh,
But
okay.
basically, there was one storefront that was really cool, very aesthetically pleasing, but it was a flight of stairs. And I actually was using a scooter at the time because I was
Yeah.
having surgery, and they had no elevator, so I cannot get down either.
Yeah.
It's a problem. Yeah, but I had to
And
make
so-
sure, and that all of that, and that even like accessible parking, I had to make sure, and I work with the film commissioner, Jennifer West, like we need to ensure that there are parking spaces available for actors. Because so many
Yes.
times, I mean, I've interviewed quite a few actors with disabilities, and the people who are hiring them are interested, but once you say that they need accommodations, they just say no. Or like they've been carried up a flight of stairs, or like had to change outside in an alley. And no, I wasn't gonna do that.
Speaking of accommodations, didn't we get a flight for one of the actors actually? Did that end up happening?
Yes,
Okay.
did. There was a flight that I purchased.
Yeah.
Go into that.
So
They were great at acting. I'm very glad they were here.
yeah.
That's what I'll say about that.
Was there a concern with the film? For both of you, I'm interested. Was there concerns? You could take this as subjectively as you want. This is a very open-ended question. You can take it anywhere. Emilie?
Again, I'm just gonna hint at the security concern.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, well, there's that, but also part of me was like, after filming, I was like, oh, okay, like hopefully this film like gets the recognition, like, or like gets that engagement once it's posted online. Because it's one thing, to like get all the actors and then provide accommodations and start filming and editing and everything like that, and then it's like all of your work is like put to the real test when you post it online, and then you have to like share it and everything like that, make sure that
Yeah.
it X amount of views. And like I remember Jake was like using just like the wackiest like captions
Yeah.
on the most out of pocket advertising.
Yeah.
And it got me, and I actually found that so funny. And you were posting on your story, and I was posting on my
I
story.
literally did a live performance of a song we made to promote the film. We did a
Always had
lot.
those comedians engraved in my brain for better,
Oh, I don't, yeah, for better, or for worse. Yeah.
bad.
Mhm.
Just imagine one of yours like racist mixed with sexist. It was very then they said
It
the
was-
R word. I mean, it's like a
You
whole
know what? At least their comedy was diverse, okay? They brought the queers under fire, even the Philippines.
Just all of the
Family Guy. Yeah, I guess.
all of the
You
misogyny.
like Family Guy? Boy, do we have the place in Sacramento for you.
Um,
One of the concerns that okay, so there was a lot of concerns I had. For one, I I was joking when I was like, you know what, I should make a song for the film. And at first I wanted it to be me just being creative, and if it didn't work out, it didn't work out. But I got news that we hired a music producer, and it kind of fortified the song.
Volunteered. No one was hired.
Oh yeah. Everyone was not paid. I'm just going off
Very
of what
specifically, they
Emilie
were
said.
volunteered. Yes.
Yes, no one was hired, no one was paid. I'm still poor and have housing rent that's overdue. Anyways, um, yeah, and then he volunteered for us, the music producer, and that kind of fortified me. Okay, now I have to do this and I have to make the song, which I actually do love the song, and I encourage you to stream it. Anyways, another concern, so the safety concern, we can finally talk about that. The reason why we're kind of like going off of that is because 5 times when we were filming, to be fair, it was nobody's fault. Because we were doing it out in public, and like literally the world doesn't stop for us apparently. So if you could make that happen, that'd be really great. But it didn't. So we were kind of put in public, and a lot of people act really, I don't know, different when there's cameras. I don't know what was going on half the time. Half the time it was just like people
Well, it was
following
you
us.
specifically. Like
It was
nobody
me
else was bothered. It was
specifically.
just you.
Emilie actually had to help me with this homeless veteran.
Oh yeah, that's true. I was like,
Yeah.
just step in here and like maybe let Zane go back or something like
I
that.
think you should explain each time.
Okay, so first I was at the Doko sign, right? I was holding the sign, we're recording, telling people to be courteous. This one
Doko is
person.
downtown Commons, by the way, for people who don't know.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Anyways, they lifted the sign. They kept trying to reach for my fanny pack. I was wearing a fanny pack. And then these two people were like trying to get him. They knew him. They're like, no, you can't do that. Stop. And then they like held him back, but he got away and he came back after me. So I ran to Jake. And I was like, this person keeps trying to grab my fanny pack. And then the people take him away. They leave Doko, and me and Jake switch places. So I'm more near the recording, where they're recording, and I'm just holding to the street. There was a weird lawyer with a cigarette like statue in front of us. And then there was this kid. I don't know if he was an adult or not. He looked really young, like a high schooler, and he had a cigarette. And he just like started complimenting what I was wearing and like being very, wow, you look really nice in that. And where did you get it? What are you doing? What are you filming? And I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna ignore it. And then the third one was this guy. He was a little bit older. He claimed to have a disability, and he was interested in what we were doing. This is sadly the time we had security, or security was helping us, and it kind of created an environment where I didn't want to be mean to the old man, and I was willing to talk, but the security guard mistaken it as him bugging the set, which he wasn't. He was just talking to me. And so the security guard escalated the situation that she thought was me being uncomfortable, and then I didn't want to get into it because I didn't want to take sides, and it was a lot. So I kind of just stood quiet, and he eventually left. And then the fourth time, it was with Emilie. This homeless veteran, I believe is what he was. He was upset that we were filming because the military service did not do him well in making sure that when he was done with the military or retired, that he had a way to make ends meet. And he thought it was weird that apparently there's other jobs like being an actor that we weren't even paid for. He was complaining that we were getting paid to record, which I mean, we weren't paid. Actually, we lost more money than we earned. We didn't earn any. And then yeah, and so Emilie was just like, if you look at him, they'll get angry. And he kind of just sat there and started mumbling, and we just pretended not to hear. And then I left. I don't know what Emilie encountered while I was gone, but I went because I had to.
Nothing. It just you're the magnet. You're the magnet. Oh my gosh.
And
Also,
then I go to the
really comment from that. We're just like college students filming. We have nothing to do with the Veterans
the
Affairs.
army.
Whatever. Like,
Yeah. I mean, it was like there was a way to communicate that maybe. But I run to the boat, which I don't have service, so like I get lost and
it was
I almost
later,
did.
what you're talking about, right? The boat.
No, that's when I left. That's when Emilie came. I went to talk to you because you guys were trying to communicate something because we were kind of like falling far behind. And so I go up.
This is when the
And
equipment
then
was stolen. Got it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back out, there was equipment. $2,800 of equipment was stolen. Same location.
I
So
can't wait to-
you get harassed, I get stuff stolen from. So
I'm gonna edit this. I'm gonna make this the most dramatic Bollywood like trailer for this episode. It's gonna be so funny. So it's true, yeah, stuff was stolen, but back to me being harassed. No, I'm just kidding. I go to the boat and because I was supposed to be filming there like what 20 minutes ago. Like I don't know how far behind we were, but we were far behind. And so I get there, I'm trying to practice, and then I do the scene. Apparently I did very well because the only reason why I had to redo was to get different angles. Generally I did really well. I'm very shocked about my first ever being on camera acting. There was a funny thing. I'm gonna get into my last story about being harassed, but if you actually pay attention to the audio, you'll realize we messed up the script. So the whole
I did not know that.
So yeah, what happened was he was supposed to say, what was the dish called? I forgot. He was supposed to say the dish.
Mistro or something.
Yeah, Mistro. Alfredo Mistro. So he was supposed to say Alfredo Maestro, but he says Alfredo Mistro. He says it right, and I was supposed to correct him, and I just kind of went with it, even though he said it right. And so I had to pretend he said it wrong, said it right, so he would say it wrong. And so there's that like funny thing. If you notice, he actually did say the dish right. That was kind of a mess up on the script. To be fair, though, on the set in the scene, he had a different script than me because when Lindsay was editing the script to meet time requirements, because this could only be a 5-minute film, she edited mine and not his. Therefore, I had an updated script, and we tried to make it easier for me because I was supposed to say something longer than the vibes are off. I was supposed to go into like Americans think they're always right with pronunciation and blah, 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 but that was too much to remember. And then time constraints. So I just said the vibes are off. I quit. I was also supposed to throw my towel. I believe we changed it. And then it was nighttime at the time. So we had to stop filming at like 10 p.m. I believe. Was it 10?
Not at Delta King, the boat. We had to leave around like 4:30. I know he went a little bit after, but that was the owner or the manager. He was sick and he said it was fine if we stayed later.
No, I mean like for the whole film, like to stop.
10 p.m. Yeah, that's the cutoff in Sacramento.
Okay, so we I believe it was Rachel. She was, I forget her title. Isn't she like the direct now?
Sydney,
yeah. Sydney.
assistant director. Yeah.
Assistant director, yeah. So she was in charge of like a set. She did the quiet on set. It was getting cold. And so we had to get her, yeah, it was.
I was the only one who noticed that.
We had to get her jacket from the parking lot that was nearby that we made sure was there for people so that they had accessibility. And so we go. And we have a vague description. And listen, honey, I don't know cars. Don't know her, don't want her. I care for the environment, blah, 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 blah. I'll enter all woke excuses here. Anyways, yeah. So I actually was the one that found the car. Somehow I did something and I found it. And it took a while for us to figure out how to get in it and how to pop the trunk open. But we found her jacket. And on our way out, I was talking about how this is a very horrible spot because the lighting was bad and there was a lot of turning corners. And I was like, wow, this is like one of the places I don't feel safe at, knowing the history of being harassed on set. Well, not on set, but like being harassed while we were filming.
It's like a horror film waiting to happen.
No, for real, the spinoff. What the spinoff series. So we made a film about romance. Now we're gonna make a film about how that romance behind the scenes of the romance. And so this one girl saw us, turned around and followed us. And me and this one girl, we were not playing. We kind of like walked faster. And then we got back and we were kind of just like, this one girl literally just followed us. Like, I love how like every time we entered set when I was harassed, I never, no context, nothing. I walked in, I was just harassed. And that was like, and then they're just like, again. I was like, yeah.
Again.
They're like, what is going on? They're like, what is going on? It's kind of interesting because I literally were like, yeah, I could do this. I can go with her and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I'm gonna protect, like, I'm gonna go with her, choose better than one. Even though I am a little more flamboyant, I still look like a man. People perceive me as a man, so I can still be a threat, I'm also a witness, blah blah blah. And this is just to show you, women are protecting me, honey. Women are my bodyguards.
Oh my God.
My God.
So yeah. So those were some. Do you have concerns, Jake? Did you have concerns?
That I'll say in a podcast.
Well, I don't care. We can go to the next question.
I think my biggest, what was hard for me, because I have a disability, what was really hard for me is such a short time frame was really difficult for me because I have migraines, I have ADHD, and I have a lot of things that if my night schedule is messed up, it really messes me up. And I'm also like a full-time college student, and I also work, and so I had to take a week off, which is fine, it is what it is. But that was really difficult for me because I remember I spent an all-nighter, and that just messed me up, and I was so exhausted by the end that like I was starting to get sick. So it was.
I remember you had
really
an
tough.
injured foot because it was hurting real bad. We had to take public transportation, but the buses stopped working when we got to I don't know how to describe it. When we got to the like bus
Light
stop
rail?
near campus, we had the light rail. And we had to walk back to campus. And then we got back, we left at like 10 because we were done filming a little bit earlier because we kind of finished early. And then we got back at like 11:30. Like we walked into the doors of our building at
But
11:30
that
p.m.
filming, and then I was also working on the script, and then
Oh yeah, that's
it was
true.
like post-production, but we were also working on the song, and just all of that was really hard. And I think if I could change the rules, I would ask Nick, can you please make it like a 2-week long process or a week and a half, because I don't think 6 days, or I think it was like 5 days. That's way too, because I'm just thinking, especially because you're trying to get people with disabilities, like it's difficult. It was really hard for me, and I re-injured my foot. I got sick. I mean, it was that was not fun. Other than that, I thought it was a great team. There were some, on the film process. If you're in film, you probably know, but if you're not, you might not. But there's always some quirks, is what I'll say. I'm not going to say what quirks there were, but there were definitely quirks. And I think all of us at the end were kind of at our wits' end. And so tensions were very high. And I think, again, if we just extended the time length, that would be great.
Straws were being pulled, but luckily not the final one.
It was really tough. Yeah, we made it out alive somehow.
There was
I don't know if I do this again. I'm probably being a producer again, but I'm not going to do everything I did again.
So yeah, that's something we're going to talk about, but I believe we do have plans moving forward, and it's better when it's like, because when I was going into this, I was expecting more of like the friend casual, which I kind of like that more, acting better when it's like, oh, we get together with people, we act for fun, and we post it, and we could actually make a profit on it and stuff if people like us. This is a question, we don't have to answer it. None of these questions you actually have to answer. I probably should have said that in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I can also cut anything out. This is no tea, no shade. We don't have to list names. Did you feel we got the recognition our film deserved?
Emilie.
I honestly thought we would get more than given our current view count. I honestly thought it would at least be like triple to double the amount. Oh, I thought you froze for a moment because you were like really still.
Mhm.
No, but like I feel like what is this? We should have been given more credit by the very least, especially like with the time frame that like that the entire cast was given, and also just again representation wise, like, and also the people that we had, like the actors that we cast, they're not, what is this? They're not like ordinary people. They're also like influencers too. So it's like I feel
The math isn't mathing.
the math isn't, if 1 + 1 is 2, then what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Exactly. Is what I would say. I feel like what is this? Could have gotten more views, but like again, it was like relentless marketing on all sides from like
Yeah.
Zane and Jake, especially, given what we've had. But yeah,
I
that's
wanna point out, so going into this, speaking about resignation, egos were filled. Mine was filled because I watched some of the older, like last year's 2022 videos and stuff, and they were interesting, to say the least. I mean, they did it and they won. Congratulations. So like going into this, I expected this year we were like blowing it out of the water. It was great. And then I mean, to be fair, when I saw the winnings for 2023, I was like, I can see why they're good. It was interesting because a lot of the winners were musicals, which I was expecting what they would do with my song was to implement it into the story because it's Sacramento Love and romance. Yeah. I thought it was gonna be more of a musical, like I thought, well, I mean, to be fair, the places we shot didn't really have my vision because there was no stage, but like 1960s kind of, like you're at like a diner and we're dressed up in like the red dresses in the background singing while I have a big imagination and not a big enough wallet. So you could see how those two things don't always align. Um, yeah, but I think because ours was different than the others, in my opinion, ours was very different and moral of the story. Like our morals, our like thought that we put into it. Even my song had so much meaning that you probably wouldn't have even known if I didn't tell you. There's actually supposed to be 3 different languages. I also wanted an ASL breakdown in the song. There was a lot that was supposed to happen that would represent the community. It was supposed to be disco, which is very influent in the LGBTQ community, especially in the bar scene, Stonewall and all that. And then it was about me, I kept hearing beeping, so I was like, what? It was about me, huh?
no, that might be me.
Oh, I made a song about becoming an LGBTQ Latinos instead of just having those 2 identities separate. So it was about intersectionality and all that. And I spoke Spanish and I sang in Spanish in that song, and it was really great. This next question.
Can I answer?
Yeah.
I would say for marketing, there might be miscommunication, but some people did pre rather than like during
Oh yeah.
the
And then
campaign.
a lot of people.
And it is what it is. I
Mhm.
might have been my fault for that. Oh well, because it's fine. I would say with the films that came out, watching them, it made it clear to me that the film festival is more about there needs to be more conversation about identity, which we didn't really want to do. And I still stand by that decision because there really isn't a film that's just like, hey, there are these intersectionalities, but we're not going to make it the biggest focal point.
Yeah.
Life, it's not, you just see people walking around, doesn't mean like they're going to talk about like, hi, I have a disability, what's your name, what do you,
Yeah.
or like what problems come, sometimes not problems, but what struggles come with that, because we've seen that so many times. We want to do something that was just positive that people could watch again. And that's something, at least for me, that I want to see growing up. And I think for this film festival, I thought I think ours could win at a different
Yeah.
circuit. Now seeing what the others did because of the whole identity thing, because ours is still up to that par
Mhm.
with the acting, with the cinematography, with the editing. I also wish that the selected winners or the runners up, that it wasn't like out of 3 films, pretty much. Because there's like 100 people that submitted and only like
There
3
was over
or
600, I believe.
Oh, there was?
Well, I don't know if it was collectively, like throughout the whole 10 years or just like
Oh,
that.
that's the whole 10 years. Because I
Oh.
read, yeah, that was like around 100. And I wish that whoever selected, it wasn't just like focused on like those 3 films, because there's so much more.
And a lot of the films that won were the ones that got more views than actual like taking in storyline and stuff. So just like a lot of the industry is just marketing. If you can market something, doesn't matter if it's the best. If you market it that it is, then you can trick people into it.
And there's always politics that we'll never
Yeah.
know because we weren't in the room.
One thing I want to bring up, because I think it's important, was when we talk about the difference between our film and theirs, one way you could see it is you could tell that the other films were acting. Like we bring up naturality, we're talking about like ours looked like if there was no cameras there, something you'd probably possibly see in the real world.
Yeah.
And I mean,
back.
okay. I mean, when it comes to having the film, one of the things that could have knocked us down was the fact that our film didn't look like a film and it didn't perform like a film. So I made a joke on set that I was a sociologist on call. I kind of gave myself that title, and my job was to make sure that we didn't do anything problematic. We represented the communities, at least LGBTQ community, properly, and basically mini HR, making sure people were getting along, being friendly, blah blah blah. Which there wasn't a lot of complication on set. And so we really tried to make it seem like we weren't filming for the film, if that makes sense. But that could have been one of our downfalls. I don't know. I feel like that would be
I
the
think it
weird
just wasn't
reason.
the right festival. That's
That too. I don't know if you heard what I said, but
I heard it. I was
oh,
just yeah.
okay. Yeah. So I don't know if we talked about this yet. Complications on set, yes or no? We kind of did briefly describe like complications like us being late. There was stuff stolen.
There's always quirks in
Yeah.
the process. That's what I'll say. I think we talked about it. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Okay. My favorite part of the episode. I'm actually excited because I do know some, but I'm just interested. Where do we go from here? Like, do we have any projects together? Are we doing more acting gigs? I know me and some of the I'm gonna say coworkers, some of the other actors, the volunteers, were writing a song together. Me and other people wrote songs. I'm thinking about teaming up with Emilie to make a rap song about my hair. I think that'd be great. um do we have any other plans? Any other films?
Well,
Any
I'd
other short films?
say with this film is I this isn't stopping me from applying to others. I have
Mhm.
to change a bit, and it depends on the animator how if he's willing to add more credits, because I kind of want to incorporate Zane's song that we originally made and just bring it back, because I thought it was
Yeah, it
really
was
good. We might just
great.
have to do the beat too, because it's really tough in this short amount of time to interweave like the vocals very well, and I want to make sure that it's, so I have to be careful on that because I only have to like next week, and I'm about to graduate in this finals and all of that. But I also am editing a little bit more so it just flows better, and then I had with the help of a professor. So May 6th, I'm planning on submitting to like 40 film festivals and see what happens.
Her. Do we have anything planned, either professional gigs? I would consider this a professional gig. It wasn't just friends coming together. We actually had to, well, you had to pay for insurance. We had to actually like sign things. There was legality to it. So this is more
Legal
professional.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have any like, I mean, the show is one of the plans we have. Obviously, we're doing it. You plan on being on another episode talking about disability in Hollywood, your initiative. So this is like, I would consider this acting, even though it's a podcast. I mean, it's film, it's part of that. any
Our platform, yeah.
Yeah. Emily just shook her head like, girl. She said no. I know I don't know if I want to talk about that.
I mean, I'm doing separate initiatives, but it's different from this, and I'm also want to be mindful because I'm having surgery in 3 weeks from now, so I have to kind of, for my own sanity, kind of have to, what's it called, simmer down a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, because I took a film class. There's also a lot of sociology opportunities and the industry. Even though those aren't what I'm looking for, I do still like to be dramatic and crazy on camera. I don't know if you've seen my YouTube channel. I also make music.
Camera, I would say too.
Well, yeah, but like I want to do more projects with friends where we hang out. We just do stupid stuff and edit it, make a song for it, and like publish it like this. Like I'm probably gonna add the song to the film at the end of this as an outro. I'm gonna like edit this. It's gonna be a full-on show. Like this is gonna be something people can tune into, watch. I'm gonna try to get it on YouTube Music. Typically, most of my songs just automatically are there. You can actually listen to Sacramento Love on YouTube Music if you want, or YouTube, or
look right there. What about our film? You're
Huh?
gonna put the film too.
Yeah, I'm also gonna promote the film in this episode. Don't worry about that. That's kind of a given. I'm also gonna promote all y'all socials so y'all can get famous from our 3 viewers.
Famous.
Yeah.
About that,
I
but okay.
mean, let's see how the marketing team for this show does.
True.
I kind of want to make this. I don't know if I want to mention another film's name, but Emilie, you know the drag show I love to watch. No, not the big one, but you know the one I like to watch. I kind of want it to be like that with my friends. So this is like an excuse.
It's
Yeah.
possible. Anything is possible.
Yeah, you ready to dress up?
Sure.
Her.
But I will say for me personally, just I guess I don't know if you're wrapping it up or not, but I'm very glad we made this film. This has like been a goal of mine for such a long time, and I've accomplished it, and I'm very happy about that. And even though we didn't win, I'm still gonna try to submit to others. Hopefully, we win something. But
We won in our heart.
to be part of a film, like an actual film, with
It's on
people,
IMDb,
and so
y'all.
that was great. And so I can just check that off the list, and now I've pretty much done most of the things I want to do in my life now. It's great.
Even though IMDb cut Emilie out of the acting credits, it's on there. It's
Oh,
great. Do you have to pay to watch it on IMDb?
It's not, I think it's just the poster. It's not like the actual film. Also, I'm gonna edit it for the other film festivals. So I'm not gonna upload it if that's even how it's done, because there's things that are moving around right now. Like I think we have to cut 2 actors.
Oh, for the original?
Yeah.
And then me and Emilie, we should do a spinoff of the film. We should keep it going.
The background of the film.
Yeah, the hair. It's just your hair in some of the scenes, and then it's like you're playing 2 actors.
Oh
No. I think that'd be fun.
Well, we also have footage that you could use
True,
to do like spinoff.
And then we gotta continue the music. Like I gotta make it a musical about her hair. Like the first spinoff is gonna be her hair, and it's gonna be how her hair travels around Sacramento, and it's gonna be like a musical. It's gonna be great.
Oh my god.
It should be the hair and the waiter. Like the waiter just
Oh my
goes,
god. Hi hair, what can I get you?
I'll just be the actor just constantly being cut off, like constantly.
No, that would be
I'm trying
so
like, wait, hold on.
funny.
And it just keeps going. The
Oh my
camera
god,
doesn't
yes,
want me.
you want to do this? I'm down. 5 minutes of just Emily's hair, Jake trying to get in the film, and me
But the
just
camera
yelling at
refuses. Like literally,
customers.
I'm like a repellent.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh my god, I love this idea. I'm so down. Dates and times.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it for our first episode of the Fruity Pods podcast. Like I said, I'm your fucking host. Nice to see you. If you do want to be on the podcast, I do Zoom, obviously, as you can tell.
Using
And
my Zoom, but yeah.
yeah, well, oh, that's true. Hold up. Maybe I shouldn't advertise before I think I need to figure this out.
It's my Zoom, but thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. On the other, we'll do Discord chat. I'll just screen
Mm.
record on my iPad on the Discord chat. We'll do Discord. Yeah, so the first season's gonna be about disability, so expect to see our faces again and more people. There's like 40 people in the cast, and we're not gonna talk about our show, but there's also like disability in Hollywood, which I'll also promote in the film. I should do it to where there's ads in the video that I make.
What? There's ads.
So like I record an ad for like disability in Hollywood, and I'll like find a place to cut the video and then put the ad, and then like we'll be
I have
back
an
in a
ad
moment.
for it.
Huh?
There is an ad for it. It's a.
Oh.
I'm gonna add it in the video.
Oh my gosh.
He's
Okay.
For it.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Zane. It's been a pleasure. And thank you all for those who watched or listened in.
Thank you for recording the whole show, even though I'm the
Okay.
host.
All right. I'm
And
gonna-
thank you, Emily.
Yes, thank you for having me on here.
Dice it up, 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 dice it up.
I don't like all these emotions. Make me feel trapped. Open ocean. I don't like all the crying. Makes me feel weak. I am tired. My love for you keeps going on and on. My love, my love, my love for you keeps going on and on. And I know, I gotta face it. And I know, we gotta face it. Sacramento ain't the city of love. We built that right here. Sacramento ain't the city of love. We built that right here. And I know, we gotta face it. And I know, we gotta face it. Sacramento ain't the city of love. We built that right here. Sacramento ain't the city of love. We built that right here. Wanna go to the end with you. Sí, digo sí, quiero tu mano sobre mí, over me. Mi cuerpo, tu cuerpo, corazón va boom boom. Esperita, momento perfecto por ti. La ciudad Sacramento, la nueva ciudad de amor. Sacramento ain't the city of love. We built that right here. Sacramento ain't the city of love. We built that right here.